Hello, adventurers, and welcome back to the Legend of Kelamentura recap series. I think the last video I put up was a sort of an omnibus recap of like 3 sessions worth. Um, this time it's only one. Thankfully, I remember to do this in a timely manner. So, just one session this time. Although a bit happened, so hopefully this won't be too long of a recap. But yeah, here we go. So this session, which I've in my notes have called Hearts and Minds, also Gods. Slight spoilers. But last time the party had a bit of a kerfuffle beneath Goldenfields in a goblin cave that they cleared out of goblins after buying the goblins off. Had a fight with an archmage and 4 gladiators, effectively, beneath Mentura. 3 of the gladiators had been dispatched, one of them rather spectacularly in a combo move between Titus and Bjorn. Titus yeeting him off a cliff and Bjorn meteor hammering him to finish him off, which is pretty fucking cool. The final gladiator was like disarmed, bound up, and just to be you're there whenever we want to talk to you. And thus began the age-old tradition of let's loot the bodies. Which, the bodies, loot the bodies, that went well enough for the party. A couple of spears, armor, general, fairly standard stuff. And then the party, I said the party, Sir Low Key took a nosy around a cave, another cave towards the back of the dais. It's previously where the mage had been hiding. That an illusion had been cast trying to distract the party, and that's where the mage had been hiding. So, Loki went in for a bit of a mooch. Went in and cast, I think it was Detect Magic. I think he cast Detect Magic. He did something anyway. And got 2 pings. Well, as I described it, a ping and an echo. There was a chest. There was a ping off of a chest to the right of him. That was a ping of an evocation. I think it was an evocation ping off of the chest. And then an echo of I think it was transmutation. I can't remember. What I said, but it was like, yeah, there's a ping and an echo, and the echo was something different. And I was like, okay, I'll go check the chest for traps, roll really bad investigation, and I was like, yeah, seems right. Okay, flipped it open. Which was a fireball trap, which detonated the chest, and all the torches in the cave also detonated. So the entire party got caught in a fireball, which was fun. Also meant that, unfortunately, the party lost out on a bit of loot. They lost a bit of stuff from the chest. They don't know what they missed, but they missed something. Gonna get incinerated by the fireball. But they did manage to get, for their trouble, it was 1,500 gold worth of platinum, a couple of platinum ingots, like 6 of them, I think it was. I didn't do that intentionally, but 6 platinum ingots, some sort of payment. The party managed to get that, and then turn their attention to the gladiator. Sort of hands bound, and party took a short rest, made some tea, and basically conversed with this fella and says, "Right, what's your story?" This was a gladiator by the name of human male, the name of Brian, who told the party that he was basically a sellsword. He was a sellsword. The people that he was with were kind of like his party, and that they had been they'd basically been paid to fight with these guys. Like, yeah, by the way, if we pay you, can you come guard us? That's my whole thing. Yeah, sure. So that's how Brian got caught up in all of this. Him and his friends, I'm going to call them ex-friends, but his now deceased friends. And over time, when the party asked further, told them that, oh yeah, we were in. He says, oh yeah, I was in Portmore. Me and the guys were in Portmore at a bar, Lusty Fishwife, just in between work, sitting there in the bar having a drink, discussing our options, and a man in a green coat and a mask came up to us. We kind of, okay, you're dressed a bit funny, but what the hell? and basically says, yeah, I'm going to give you guys a lot of gold if you come and work for me. And they went, okay. Which, that prompted a bit of a reaction, shall we say, from Achilles. Bit of a reaction. Smacked him across the face. Sort of, where is he? Who is he? Sort of went a bit Batman on us. But more on that later. So talked to Brian, got a bit of info out of him, and then left. And when they were leaving, they noticed Lorilla, who during the fight had summoned her centaur friend Kyrios from the Feywild to aid them in battle, kind of summoned him in Kyrios. Then during all of this, the party were sort of talking to Brian and everything else, and kind of looked over at Lorilla to make sure she was okay. And she was deep in conversation with the centaur, and she didn't look overly happy. It was kind of just face kind of falling and worry, going, oh, that doesn't sound good. And then got outside, and once they got outside, Lorilla was, oh god, was kind of clearly torn between wanting to go somewhere and stay with the party, going conflicted as to what to do. At that moment, a tree nearby ripped open into a portal and staggered, and a satyr just tumbled out of the tree. Saw Lorilla and the party made a beeline for Lorilla. Bjorn kind of intercepted, going, who the fuck are you? And Lorilla basically waved him off and said, no, that's my friend. That's Flint. Don't worry, he's a friend. Flint arrived and said to Kyrios, oh, have you spoken to me? Have you told her what's happened? And he was like, I've told her bits, but... And then between Kyrios and Flint told Lorilla that the Feywild, that there had been a massive abyssal incursion into the Feywild via the Shadowfell. And there's overlap in the planes there. There'd been a massive incursion, and a figure... Have I given that name out yet? I'm just making sure. No, I haven't. I haven't given the name out yet, so I'm not going to do that. Almost slipped up there. So no, there was the forces of the Fae, some abyssal forces had overwhelmed the forces of the Fae, and Lorilla was desperately needed back to aid in the battle. So Lorilla, kind of conflicted, basically begged the party to, okay, well, I really need to go because what's happening there is really bad. I need to go. Will you guys promise to, carry on the investigation? The darkness beneath Ventura. There's something really bad going on down there. Party agreed to, and eventually Lorilla was, relaxed enough. I say relaxed enough, was content. It's probably the better. Content enough to leave, knowing that the work was still going to get done. And sort of turned to her friends and was like, right, okay, well, how do we get back? Because the nearest known portal to the Fae is in the Bow Grove at Terran, which was, oh boy, almost 2 weeks of travel south. Going, okay, well, that's a while to get down there, but hopefully we get there in time. And at that time, kind of sitting worrying, going, how do I get back in time? A tree of pure divine light just appeared before the party. And stepping from it was another firbolg. Looked very similar to Lorilla, kind of clothing. The clothing was far nicer, holding a staff that was of perfectly carved, beautifully carved wood. Very, 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 very well groomed for slightly firbolgs they're cow folks that have the sort of the furriness. Very well groomed, they're kind of like Lorilla, but if Lorilla had spent 2 years living the high life, very well groomed and like. And this was an avatar of Toromir, one of the gods, one of the pantheon. So yeah, one of the gods appeared and basically said to Lorilla, "Oh, don't worry about that. I've got you covered." So yeah, an avatar of the god. If the actual god appeared, that would be good. How about that? How would I do that? And actually, the god sets foot on the earth again. Well, the last time that happened was a visitation. That was an untold length of time ago, and that brought magic to the world. God comes back. Haven't thought about that one. So the avatar appears, to which the religious in the party, which is most of them, just immediately went into, oh, that's the god, and just fell into, like, threw themselves prostrate before them type thing. And then we have Titus. My beloved Titus, my agent of chaos, who charged forward and stuck his hand out and says, my name's Titus, and I'm pleased. My name's Titus. I have 700 gold pieces. I'm pleased to meet you. He's walked up to a god and shook their hand, because that's what Titus does. He's an agent of chaos, but a lovable agent of chaos. And I was like, okay. I didn't know how the party was going to react. I kind of figured Titus might have done something like that, but I was like, okay, you just kind of walked up and shook their hand. You shake their hand. Very well. And I says, okay, Titus, you immediately gain the benefits of a long rest. You feel better than you felt for a very long time. That's sort of the spine, probably. Your lower back was a bit cricked. You had it there for a long time. You've gotten used to it, but suddenly that fixes itself. Your back suddenly goes, oh, wow. Like that scene in The Incredibles, Mr. Incredibles fighting the robot, and it goes and pulls his back into line. Basically that, but with a god. And he also became 4 years younger. He became 1d4 plus 1 years younger. Well, pretty well on that. Which, through discussion, we kind of learned later on was actually kind of a bad thing, because Titus is a turtle towards the end of his life. If you're anything about turtles in D&D, in the last year or so of their life, they get the urge to return to where they were born, like their mating grounds, have a kid, raise the kid, teach it, and then go off and die. Titus is now 4 years younger than all of his friends and everybody he grew up with. So when he does return back, he's not going to have his friends and family and everything around him. He's going to be surrounded. Well, he's going to have his friends and family, the next generation of them. He's going to show up with a bunch of his nieces and nephews and be like, I'm Uncle Titus. You're the first turtles to ever meet your uncle. And not just hear about them. So, unintended consequences, which is like, oh shit, you're going to live longer than everybody else you've ever known. That was fun. And also, sort of through conversations afterwards with the party, realizing that no, that actually was a god. Titus, I think at that point afterwards, basically says, okay, I want to try and do some magic. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You now know the cantrip Druidcraft. So Titus, our lovable, friendly, turtle rune knight fighter, I don't know if I call him an acolyte, but they're kind of heading down the path of, oh, maybe the gods are good. maybe this whole religious thing's actually is fun. I can get stuff out of it. So yeah, that was a blowing moment of chaos. Yeah, and then back to the town. On the way back, I had the initial information from Brian. Back to the town, and through some very, very good persuasion rolls from Low Key and Bjorn, managed to... oh, by the way, they had their goblins with them, like 24 goblins that bought out, just followed them back to the town. Because why wouldn't you? Brought them back to town, and the persuasion was basically to persuade the town master to allow the party of the goblins to come in. So yeah, kind of like, yeah, the goblins are with us, don't worry, basically, it came to the point of, okay, fine, they're allowed in, you're responsible for them, anything happens is on you. Fair enough. And then put the goblins to work digging a ditch and rampart around the town, because the town didn't... Goldenfields, its defensive capability, it's defended by the fact that it's in the middle of fuck all. It's just a massive farmland. So it built a ditch and rampart. Or we're starting to, anyway. And then kind of generally help rebuild the barns and any damage and destruction that's been done. That was the deal. As part of that, Bjorn also then went off and organized, basically to have a big feast to go, hey, the goblin problem is taken care of. Let's have a party to celebrate. To kind of mark the end of the goblin problem is done, and also to try and integrate the goblins back into the town. Try to make things a bit more wholesome for everybody. Which actually, it went quite well, actually. The party ended up... The goblins, while no one in the town is fast friends with them yet, there's that sort of awkward getting to know each other. Can I actually trust you stage? which we'll see how that goes over time. I have to keep an eye on that myself. But I'm sure the party will check in from time to time. After which, party then went back to Mentura, got paid for what they've done in Goldenfields. Oh, yeah, and so you went to Mentura and got paid, and before they left Goldenfields, Lorilla left the party. Basically, the Nick who plays Lorilla, his work's gotten far too busy, and he's like, yeah, I would love to keep playing, but I can't. He's my DM as well. He DMs a campaign that I'm a player in. So he's like running, I think running 2 campaigns and also working a full-time job. He's like, yeah, this is a bit much. So, step back a bit for that. Just fair. So he stepped, but the whole God thing was like, oh yeah, basically he says, if I'm ever able to play, I want to. And I was like, just give me 5 minutes notice. I'm going to be there tonight. That's fine. Literally, wherever the party is, a divine tree will appear and the Rilla will appear out of it. Just because, ta-da, because that's what you can do when you're the dungeon master. Oh, but the gods can't do that. Shut up. I am the gods' boss. They do what I tell them in this world. Yeah, so Ventura got paid, and also had a spoke with Wilder about the Duath situation. Wilder thanked the party for going, oh yeah, that information you found was really, really useful. We have found the entrance. We found out where Duath is, because it was a Duragar city that has been abandoned for hundreds of years. Almost 1,000 years has been abandoned. So it's kind of like, well, there's a battle 750 years ago, so they knew when it was then, but since then it was kind of just been left alone, so no one's been near it for 3/4 of a millennium. Yeah. Found the entrance, and this is, I have some people who have found where this place is, and they're keeping watch to see if anything comes or goes. Word of warning, there are trolls. Trolls have set up where the entrance is. This is basically Duath. It was a Waytown hub town between the surface and the Underdark. That's where Duath is. And to get up and down, there was like a rail system type thing that was in place, and this entrance was effectively the surface station. Party had a big discussion back and forth, and ultimately decided that yes, they will come back to Mentura, and asked Wilder to, we'll come back here, we'll come back because we do want to take care of this. We promised our friend we would, and we're going to. But if we go in now, we don't really know what's down there. And basically Wilder urged caution, going, we don't know what's down there, but all I do know is that if Okatsa, this beholder creature, is down there, if they are alive and if they're down there, they are very dangerous, and I would urge caution. So the party ultimately decided, okay, we're not going to go in just yet. We're going to go away, do some other bits and pieces, and come back. But keep an eye on it for us. To which part, Lorella, all the names running through my head. Wilder gave the party 2 sets of sending stones. One, she gave them a full set, so the party has a set of sending stones to use amongst themselves. And then she took a set and gave the party one and kept one for herself, saying that this is a method of communication between me and you, between the party and myself or the guild. That's what this sending stone can be used for. Just so they can keep in contact. If anything happens, anything changes, then what the hell's going on. So what the party did was they then decided, okay, well, we're going to go prep for our journey north. Went out and had a bit of a shop. They're heading north to Iceborne, but the party were told by Orsic Steelbrow back in Steelborough that an item the Achilles is looking for was last seen there. Going, well, there might be a thing up here that you're interested in. And also, Wilder had previously told them that her finches, the fact that the people who gather information for her being the mistress of knowledge or information, kind of a spy master, but not really. there's been some defiant activity. There's been some iffy stuff going on up there. There's some reports coming out of it. Can you guys go up and investigate? Because at the moment, you guys are in the thick of it with these guys, the Defiants. You've already had some experience with them. You're probably the best people to send. So the party are heading north. But I bought some winter clothing, and we ended it with a couple of the party members. I think it was Low-Key, Titus, and Bjorn, heading off to a place, magical shop in town called Winston's Wondrous Wares. You're going to buy some magical items, and kind of Winston's, "Oh, my name's Winston, welcome to my shop, Winston's Wondrous Wares, what can I get for you?" And they just says, "Well, what have you got?" Dungeon Master, error 404, notes not found. So I have prepped some notes. So the next session, the party are going to start it off with a bit of shopping. And we're also going to have a new player, because I like having lots of people in my D&D party. It's fun. The more the merrier, I say. There's 6 people. But more on them next time. So yeah, so a lot happened in the last session. But really fun, and I'm really enjoying it. Oh, the party is really enjoying it. It's chaotic, but it's a good kind of chaotic. The best kind of chaotic, really. But I think that'll do us for now. So, okay. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody. I hope you guys are looking forward to the next one. And until next time, stay safe and see ya.